Next up on the agenda is communication. No one has signed up to speak, so we'll move on to superintendent's recommendations and reports.
Yes, this time I'd like to ask Mr. Hustle to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional and Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Bagley and members of the board, I have 3 items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Professional. Number 1, resignations, letters A through D. Number 2, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A through F. Number 3, employment, letters A through D. That concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Hustle. I'll entertain a motion to accept these recommendations.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Clark, please call the roll.
Mr. Napier.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, myself, yes. Mr. Bagley.
Yes.
Mr. Bagley, members of the board, I have 3 items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Support. Number 1, resignations, letters A through E. Number 2, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A through G. Number 3, employment, letters A through C. That concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Support.
Thank you again, Mr. Hustle. I'll entertain a motion to accept these recommendations.
I make a motion.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Napier. Mr. Clark, before we vote, just a moment of discussion. I see several bus driver resignations, a couple more taking unpaid leaves. Mr. Perry, can you speak to that? Are we still okay in terms of bus drivers?
Yes, we have about 3 in the system right now, currently being trained, which can take some time, but each of them is at a unique stage of that process. And in addition to that, I believe there are, they reached out yesterday and they said they had 8 other candidates they had reached out to. So the odds are when we contact about 10, usually we get about 3 that are promising. But the HR department, Joe Collins, has been working real hard on making sure we're getting names and that the transportation department is following up with those. And I think 2 of those resignations are like 2 months out, which is good. We always request if you can give us a little bit of a heads up, that always helps. So you will also see that reflected in the agenda.
Good, great. Thank you very much. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Napier.
Yes.
Mr. Bagley.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, yes.